everyone, Tim Schofield here. And TCL just sent over this backpack with a bunch of accessories inside. However, the main device we're going to take a look at today is the TCL 20 Pro 5G. As the name states, this 20 Pro 5G has the Snapdragon 750G processor from Qualcomm, which does have 5G capabilities built in at a starting price of $499, so more of a budget device that does come with 5G. Nice to see more and more of these lower priced phones coming out with 5G built in. Aside from that processor, you have wireless charging built in, an AMOLED display, along with a quad camera system on the back. So we're going to unbox the 20 Pro 5G from TCL, take a quick look inside, get some hands-on with the device, and then of course, take a quick look at all the goodies that TCL sent over. Let's get started. So in the backpack, there were a lot of different accessories, some really cool and thoughtful ones. I'm definitely ready to go camping, hiking, maybe biking. I have a ton of different things, and we'll take a look at all of them, especially this water bottle. You'll see why in just a second, and even just check out this battery pack, how different it is. Very thoughtful ideas for accessories. However, we're gonna start with what you came to see, the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Opening the box of the 20 Pro 5G, says display greatness down at the bottom. Obviously TCL also being very well known for the TVs they produce, so they focus a lot on the displays of their phones. We're gonna set the phone to the side for just a second, continue through. So inside our SIM ejection tool, we have our standard booklets along with an included case for the phone. It is clear, always nice, as always, for manufacturers to include these. And speaking of cases, TCL also sent over an extra case from Accessorize, so we'll go ahead and check that out later on in the video. Continuing through in the box, we have our charging cable, which is USB Type A to USB Type C, pretty standard. And then our charging brick, which is fairly small. Unfortunately, only 18 watts of charging. I would have liked to have seen it a little bit faster. However, with the wireless charging on the phone, it is 15 watts. And on to what you came to see, the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Let's take it out of the plastic. And this is the black color. You'll notice that quad camera. We'll get to that in just a second. But I'm gonna boot the phone up for the first time. And while it boots up, let's take a close look at the hardware of this phone. So down at the bottom, we've got our SIM card slot along with a micro SD card slot, so you can expand the storage on this device. USB-C slot for charging, microphone, one of the speakers, then moving along the right side, a power button and volume rockers. That power button has a little bit of a red accent to it and a bit of an indent as well to it. Moving along the top, is that an infrared IR blaster I see up towards the top? I love it. I really don't see those very often, so I hope that's what it is. I think it would make sense with it being a TCL, like I said, with their TV affiliation, to have something that can control a TV in their phones. That's very thoughtful. Anyways, up at the top, again, a headphone jack. You really don't see those either, and a microphone. Want to make note, there is virtually no camera bump. The flash actually protrudes out just a tiny bit, which is probably going to be good so the phone doesn't slide off the desk or anything like that. It will kind of catch on that. And then on the left side here, we have another extra button. So we'll figure out what this is for a little bit later on in the video. And finally, just a close look at the back of the phone saying TCL and the quad camera system. So on the back, you have a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, 5 megapixel macro lens for close-up shots, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing lens. So I'm going to run through the startup process on the phone, talk about anything that's noteworthy. The 20 Pro 5G has an in-display fingerprint scanner, so we are going to set this up. And while I was typing in my password, switching through some screens, I noticed the vibration feedback felt really good. And I'm actually feeling it now as I set my thumb down. Just going to continue through this process. It says to put the edges of my thumb. Now, usually an in-display fingerprint scanner setup process usually takes a little bit longer than a physical one, which is totally fine as long as it's fast and accurate. So we have one finger added. I can add more later on in settings. I also can set up face unlock if I'd like to. We're going to skip that for now. It asks you to choose your dominant hand, whether you're left or right-handed, which makes sense. You press the back button a little bit more than the recent apps button. So if you're right-handed, it's going to throw that back button in the bottom right. Now, it also brings you to what they call Next Vision. This says it will improve multimedia visual experiences, keeping the image brighter, richer, and clearer for image enhancement and video and game enhancement. So I'm going to keep both of those on. You can do home and app drawer or just home screen only. I like having an app drawer. TCL style default or classic. I'm going to try TCL style for the lock screen setup. And setup is complete. Let's continue through, agree to the user experience, and there we have it. We are now on the home screen. So here's a close-up of that 6.67-inch display, 2400 by 1080 resolution. It also does have those curved sides, so like I always say, the content just sort of spills off the sides of the display. But overall, initial impression, the display looks really good. This is an AMOLED screen. This is running Android 11 with TCL UI on top of it. So you can use gestures if you'd like to. You don't have to just use the buttons within settings. You can change that. Let's go ahead and test out that in-display fingerprint scanner. So setting my thumb down, that was very quick. Let's do that again. Now let's test it with the screen off. If I set my thumb down, it does recognize it with the screen totally off and will unlock the phone. That's nice to see. So it does seem very fast and accurate. So let's jump into settings and go into those display settings. A bunch of different things, dark mode, eye comfort, and scrolling down more display settings. So your screensaver options, full screen apps, there's even screen edge. So you can actually have a narrow block zone, wide block zone. So depending on if you really don't want to actually accidentally touch the sides, or if you start to, you can customize how wide it actually goes. Now, unfortunately, it does not have a higher refresh rate. So this is a 60 hertz display, no higher. You can choose to show the battery percentage, notifications, icons, folder, and Dotch here, status bar Dotch. So up at the top with that, I guess that's what they call it, the Dotch, you can hide it, or you can hide front camera and move the status bar below hiding the front camera. I selected, it didn't seem to do it. Interesting. Let's go back up and maybe back to default. Let's hide it. It doesn't seem to be sticking. Okay, there we go. Now it kicked it all the way down. Might actually have to have an update on the phone, but there you see it have a group of different options for that top of the phone. Now let's jump into the camera app for the first time. Snap some pictures. Seems fairly quick, maybe a little bit of a delay with that Snapdragon 750G processor. Now, scrolling over, you have a portrait mode. There's a super night mode for when you have a darker frame shot. And Pro to customize ISO, white balance, all of that good stuff. And let's go all the way over to more, which is where you'll find some more options such as slow-mo, super macro, high pixel, or light trace, which will probably be fun to try out. Also, don't forget you have that ultra wide angle lens. There's 2x. If you tap it again, it goes to that 0.6x. So it includes a lot more into that shot. Let's also jump back into settings because there are further ones. Like I said, they have their own skin on top of Android, so there's some different options. Button and gestures, system navigation, like I said, you can switch the button layout. You can change to gestures if you'd like. However, there's other ones such as flip to mute, 3-finger screenshot, split screen gesture. So swipe up with 3 fingers to activate. This app doesn't support it, but if we do go to one that does, use 3 fingers, there is that split screen. This also brings us to that button on the left side. They're calling it a smart key. So you have a group of different options such as single press, double press, long press. None of them are actually on, so it doesn't seem like it's activated at all if you uncheck all 3 of these, which is kind of nice. So a long press Google Assistant, double press. Maybe you want to launch the camera, launch a specific mode of the camera. Kind of a neat feature, but you can scroll through. There's a ton of different ones. Take note, turn mute on, off, clear notifications. And obviously you can do just about all of the same shortcuts with a single press. So if we wanted to do a quick test with single press, let's go with, there's IR remote. So maybe open up with the remote with one tap, and there it is. That is an IR blaster up towards the top, so you can add specific remotes to work with your TVs. And a quick long press, what do you know, the Google Assistant activates. In terms of a couple more specs, it has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. Again, it does have that wireless charging capabilities along with 6 gigabytes of RAM. And speaking of wireless charging, let's start going into some of these accessories that they sent over. First of all, one of the cooler ones, you see it does say TCL, but this is a charging brick for other devices. You can charge via a cable, as you can tell, or wireless charging. It's an 8,000 milliamp hour bank. Let's go ahead and turn it on. When you turn it on, that TCL part actually lights up. But look, it has suction cups, so it will actually stick to the phone. So it is now charging. I felt the vibration. There is that icon on the top, charging. But check this out. It actually is suctioned to the battery bank. So I feel I'm going to hold this down just in case, but I feel very comfortable only holding the power bank upside down. This is actually really strong, and to show that, I'll peel it off now. Let's go like this. It's really strong of a suction, so a great idea actually, so you don't have to worry about it falling off or sliding around while you're using it. If I'm holding the phone, I can just hold the battery pack and just continue to use the phone and not worry about it sliding anywhere while using it. So a really neat accessory. Let's go back to the included accessory and put that case on the phone just to take a very quick close-up look down at the bottom. Those buttons on the side are actually covered up. Cutouts look good. It is see-through, so you can still see the color that you do decide to go with, and a nice cutout for the camera. And as I said, they've got me ready to go hiking, camping maybe. We've got a bunch of sunscreen. This is actually just a multi-use tool. You've got pliers, you've got a knife, bottle opener, a group of different things. You also have, of course, TCL branded mask, a really cool flashlight. So if I turn it on, you can actually zoom in and out. So if I want to change the spread of the light to be a little bit more strong and specific on something, I can do so. So pretty neat little flashlight. I had no idea what these were when I first grabbed them out of the backpack, and I'm sure you guys were wondering what was sitting over there, but check it out. You've got some sunscreen spray, insect repellent, insect bite relief, after sun spray, and hand sanitizer spray. So a group of different sprays that you can just keep with you, portable, put it in your backpack while you're on the go. And this, I think, has to be one of my favorite things. This has a lot of use to it. So it seems like just a water bottle. However, the top lid to the water bottle is actually just a really small Bluetooth speaker. So let me turn it on real quick. There we go. Now I'm going to actually pair my TCL 20 Pro to the lid of this water bottle. All right, we're all paired, ready to go. Lets me know 90% battery in the cap of my water bottle. Very neat. There is the charging slot. It is micro USB. Let's go ahead and actually play a quick song and see how loud it gets. All right, so here is just a copyright-free song I pulled off of YouTube that is now playing. This is about 50% volume. So I'm gonna turn it up as this beat drops, just so I can get an idea of how loud it actually is. Whoa. It's actually much louder than I thought it was going to be. Pretty surprising. And while it's playing, you can just go ahead and keep that water going, and you can carry the water bottle with you. Pretty neat. Tap it once. It does have pause, play controls on it, and then if I just press and hold, it turns it off for you. So just a really neat thing that I can bring to the beach. Like I said, I can bring hiking with me while I'm biking, a bunch of use cases, and I'll always have water with me. And since I'll be doing a lot of activity, in case I want some extra protection, TCL sent over this extra case, as it is 6 feet drop test. ProTech X accessorized for the TCL 20 Pro 5G. So here's a quick look at that case. Definitely a little more heavy duty, not as flimsy as the included case, which does make sense. I could throw it on the phone very quickly. Let's unlock it, and there you have it. There's a look at that case. Still doesn't cover up those curved sides, so you don't have to worry about that. And cutouts look good for the camera. So anyways, that is everything I want to talk about for now with the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this device. Like I said, I don't just like to cover flagship devices. It's nice to cover 5G phones that are at lower price points. Not everyone wants to spend a lot of money on their phone. So definitely worth checking out. I will link to it down below. More content to come. Be sure to click that subscribe button. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.